Have you ever wondered why some men seem to love you but don't really feel you? Why some show presence but don't call you in your absence, hear you but don't listen to you? The answer is not lack of interest or complicated feelings. The answer lies in a much more disturbing place. Some men only want a woman for the intimacy her body provides, and it's not about caring for you, it's about consuming you. When a man invests in his body and not in his feelings, it makes itself felt. He approaches you with his desires, not his heart. There seems to be warmth in his words, but emptiness in his actions. He is only looking for a reflection of you, not your soul. In this video, I will explain 5 signs that a man is only using you for your body. Paying attention to these signs will help you understand a man's true feelings, so I recommend you watch to the end. 1. He only calls you when he needs you. Real care does not only appear in moments of need. Real care is hidden in a quiet "how are you?" a good morning in the morning, a good night in the evening. True connection is seen in the behavior of a man who wants you not only when you are empty but also when you are full. But there are some men who only call you when they feel lacking, when they are bored, or when they have no other choice. Their reaching out to you comes from need, not from the heart. They are not interested in you. They consume you, because you are not a soul to them but a temporary refuge in a moment of need. This kind of approach can be hard to recognize, because he packs his attention so well that you try to explain this behavior with excuses like intensity, time, or the natural process of the relationship. But the reality is that he is only connecting with you to fill his own lack. He sees you not as a subject, but as an object. And when his needs are satisfied, his connection with you disappears. This is the most obvious sign of someone who doesn't touch your soul, but gets close to your body. He does not seek you for a woman's warmth, attention, affection. He seeks you only to suppress his own lack, to silence his own loneliness, or simply to satisfy his physical desire. At this point, the relationship is no longer equalized. You are present with your soul, your heart, your intention, but he stays only as long as he needs to and then leaves. Every time he comes, he leaves a hope. Every time he leaves a brokenness. Carl Jung once said, "Only those who look outside dream, those who look inside wake up." A man who connects with you only externally can never really see you. He remains only in appearance. He makes no effort to feel. Instead of connecting with you, he just makes you a temporary decoration of his world. That's why such bonds are not real, they are illusions. And the longer you remain in this illusion, the more you become exhausted. You become a stopover in his eyes, not a home. Whereas real love feels like a refuge. But his visits to you are not for shelter. They are just to stop and catch his breath. He leaves when he catches his breath, and he never knows when you are out of breath. He doesn't know your hurt feelings, your expectations, your silent waits, the message boxes you open with hope. Because for him, you are just a means of relief that comes only at certain intervals. And you try to explain all this indifference by saying, "Maybe I am not enough." But it is not your lack of love, but her lack of love that has led to this situation. No matter how much a woman is ready to love, if the man is emotionally closed, that love will go nowhere. It's like water hitting a rock. It makes a sound but doesn't deepen. Perhaps the most painful thing is that you mistake his interest for love. But if he only calls you when he desires you, it's not love, it's need. Desires are temporary. Today it is fulfilled with you, tomorrow with someone else. But love is unique to one person. And someone who remembers you only when he needs you has never really known you. He measures you not by your soul, but by the easy availability of your being. He doesn't want to feel you because feeling brings bonds, responsibility. But he is a soul stuck between freedom and non-commitment. How can a man who cannot even face his own feelings carry yours? Carl Jung says in another quote, "Whatever we do not face in ourselves is reflected in others." A man who connects with you only when he needs to actually consumes you because he cannot face his own emotional deficiency. He seeks not you, but his own loneliness. He tries to fill his own emptiness, not yours. And when this goes unnoticed, you are made to feel like you are his problem. But you are just a mirror, a reflection of what he cannot face. Now stop and ask yourself, are you really loved, or are you just good enough to be used? If he only calls you when he needs you, if you are a comfort zone for him but never a priority, this does not diminish you. On the contrary, recognizing this fact and walking away from it makes you grow. Because a woman cannot love someone without abandoning herself. And the moment she chooses herself, she has already started the greatest love, with herself. 2. He avoids emotional talk. There are some men who hear you but never really listen. He looks you in the eye but doesn't wonder what's going on inside. He pretends to be there for you, but he's not even near your soul. Because they don't know how to get inside a woman, or rather, they don't have the strength to stay there. That's why, when you talk to him, you choose your words, you open your soul, you think maybe he'll come a little closer. But he changes the subject. You spend time together, but he never really tries to get to know you. You talk about your childhood, your dreams, the dark waters inside you, but he just shakes his head. Because he doesn't want to understand you, just being with you is enough for him. Or rather, he wants to be with you in body but never touch your soul. Because the soul brings responsibility. And some men are too weak to carry a woman's soul. If a man avoids deep connection, it shows the nature of the relationship he wants to have with you. If he only touches you on the surface, he only wants you on the surface. He doesn't want to know you. He wants to live you. And that living includes your skin, not your inner world. If he only asks, how are you doing, but not, how are you really doing? This man doesn't see you. He is just looking. If a man runs away from his own feelings, he can't approach yours. It takes courage to go deep. And a man who can't even be honest with himself can't make a place for himself in your heart. Because knowing a woman's insides requires a real connection with her. But he doesn't want to connect with you, he only wants contact. And the soul does not grow through contact. It grows through openness. It deepens with listening, feeling, empathy. If there are no deep conversations, there is no deep connection. Just a superficial closeness, momentary excitement, ordinary conversations. But if there is not even a single sentence about your heart, it is impossible for this relationship to grow you. Because a woman only opens herself when her soul is valued. And if a man is not mature enough to understand that, you will remain alone even when he is with you. Sometimes you try to explain yourself to someone who doesn't understand you, but your words remain in the air. Because he only listens to what he wants to hear. He doesn't accept your reality, he accepts the version that works for him. And this acceptance diminishes you. Because you don't feel unloved, you feel ununderstood, but every woman wants to be understood first. Carl Jung says in another quote, "Relationship is the courage of one soul to recognize another soul. If a man does not dare to do this, he is not living with you. He is living with his own lack. And if he loves you only when you are silent, only when you smile, that is not love. It's just his attempt to make you a patch for his own loneliness. Remember, a man who only wants you for your body can easily consume you. But a man who sees you with your soul will carry you. One leaves you alone, the other nurtures you. One fears you, the other admires you. And you know very well which one you deserve. When a woman is deep, she drowns in shallow love. But it's not her excess, it's his inadequacy. If a man avoids deep conversations with you, this relationship starts to drain you from within. Because every minute you are not understood, you are a little more alone. And a woman doesn't stay where she feels alone for long. 3. He does not talk about the future. If a man really wants you, he doesn't just want to share moments with you, he wants to build a future with you. That future could be a house, a child, a vacation, or just a simple life together. But you will always be there. Because love is not only about today, but also about tomorrow. But for a man who only wants you for his desires, the future is as long as a few hours of intimacy. He doesn't dream with you, he doesn't plan with you, he doesn't answer the question, what will we be in the future, because he doesn't have an us in his head. For him, you exist only for today. And maybe tomorrow there will be someone else to fill another void. That's why you are always stuck in a now when you talk to him. You never get a clear answer when you ask, what about us? What you usually get is this: time will tell. Let's stay in the flow a little more. It's too early now. But these sentences carry neither love nor responsibility. They are only meant to distract you. Because he doesn't dream of a serious future with you, he just wants to stay with you for now. Carl Jung once said, "The unconscious mind becomes destiny and you call it destiny." That's why waiting for a man who doesn't clearly see you in his future is like writing your own doom with your own hands. Because that man has already made up his mind. He just doesn't let you realize it. He doesn't want to lose you, but he doesn't have a real connection with you. He stays not because he loves you, but because when he loses you, his comfort will be gone. That comfort could be touch. That comfort could be your affection. But there is no real future in it. When a man truly loves you, you are in his dreams. He looks you in the eye when he tells you his dream and says, "This is what we do. I want to go there with you," he says. "We'll build a life like this in the future," he says. These words are not just romantic, they are the clearest signs of a man's intentions. But if he is not talking about you, you are absent not only in his plans, but even in his mind. And this absence over time turns into a lack in his heart. Because a woman doesn't want to be present, she wants to take root. That root is only formed by an invitation to the future. Some men put the relationship in the waiting room. They offer you uncertainties, make your hopes creep, lure your heart with their words, and isolate you with their actions. And you run after that small possibility. Maybe he will change. Maybe he will be ready. Maybe one day he will say we. But every story built with the word maybe ends up in nothing. Because if a man wants you, he doesn't make you wait. He's clear. His words will be complete, not incomplete. He doesn't tell you we'll see. He tells you come. Carl Jung said, "Man is fully present only when he faces his own shadow." A man who cannot build a future with you is running away even from his own shadow, because the future means responsibility. It means choice, loyalty. And if a man chooses you only for now, he has never chosen you for tomorrow. Remember, a woman doesn't blossom in a relationship where she doesn't feel safe. And when a man sees a woman as just someone to be touched, he cannot plant a garden with her. He will only linger at a temporary stop. But you are not a stop. You are a place. The man who wants to walk with you will already make that path with you. But the one who just wants to sit never starts the journey. 4. He just wants a physical relationship. A real connection is made with the heart, not just the skin. But there are men who want to see you, but not hear you. He wants to be near you, but he doesn't try to know who you are. He wants to kiss you, but he doesn't ask what you're thinking. And you are naked next to him, but you feel invisible, because he desires only your body, not your being. His touch is not loving, but hurried. His embrace is not soft, but directionless. When your conversation falls silent, there is contact, because he cannot tolerate hearing silence. Physical intimacy with you is a need for him, not sharing. She doesn't feel you, she just uses you. And this creates a deep loneliness in a woman's soul, because you feel incomplete when he is with you the most. Carl Jung once said, "An unconnected soul always tends to consume another soul." And that's exactly what some men do. Instead of loving you, they consume you. Those contacts are not the result of a bond, but a game that replaces it. When the game is over, he has no real contact with you. He has only touched your body, not your heart. And the feeling of intimacy you experience in that moment is actually a deception, because your body is there, not your heart. A real man reaches your soul before he touches you. He wants to get to know your mind and heart first. before he makes a physical connection with you. Because for him, intimacy is a result, a reflection, not an action. But a man who only wants to see you in his bed has never taken you into his heart, and even when you are with him, you remain alone. And that hurts, because a woman looks for a place in the heart of someone she touches, but his heart is already closed. He hugs you, but he is not with you. He looks at you, but doesn't see you. And when you realize this emptiness, you don't feel incomplete. You feel used. In your most vulnerable moments, he turns into the person from whom you pull away the most. Because he didn't love you. He just wanted to have you. And that ownership makes you undefined after a while. It is no longer us, but a momentary us. Your feelings become secondary. Every encounter starts physical and ends physical. And you become more and more emotionally isolated each time. But in a real relationship, physical intimacy is an extension of love. Touch is the result of trust. But if trust is not established, touch becomes just an impulse. Carl Jung also said, healing does not begin until we face reality. And that reality may be this: that man never loved you. He was just looking for a temporary home in you. But you are not a house. You are a whole. And someone who seeks you only to touch you is already too blind to see the most precious parts of you. It may hurt you to realize this, but remember, seeing the truth is the first step to healing. And the day you realize that you can exist without those touches, you touch your own value, not your own skin. This will be your moment of transformation. 5. He doesn't introduce you to his friends. If a man sees you as part of his life, he includes you in his life. His friends, family, environment are aware of your existence. But a man who wants you only for his body does not want to keep you in his private space. Because he doesn't want to make a sentence about you, introduce you, give you space. He keeps you in a secret room, pretends to love you in the dark, but does not bring you out into the light. And even when you realize this, you silence yourself by saying, maybe it's not time yet. But loving a woman also requires being proud of her. A man who hides you is never intended to own you. Sometimes you want to live love in silence, out of sight without needing the approval of others, but after a while you realize what is hidden is usually what is ashamed of. And you are nothing to be ashamed of. You are beautiful in your being, in your heart, in your soul, in your love. Someone who wants to hide you has never fully accepted you. He places you on the edge of his own inner battle and keeps you there. Because being with you carries the possibility of illuminating his darkness. But some people don't like the light. They are sworn to remain blind. Carl Jung said, "A person who has not faced the darkness projects it onto others." Perhaps the man hiding you is ashamed of his own shadow. He is afraid that if he shows you, his own lack of self will become visible. Because you are not just a lover, you are also a mirror. And some men don't dare look in the mirror. A man who truly loves you is proud to show you off. When he holds your hand, peace appears on his face. When he introduces you to his acquaintances, there is warmth in his words. Because it is his pride to talk about you. Even mentioning your name in a sentence gives him happiness. But the man who hides you does not have this. His silence is a cover for cowardice. He is not hiding his love, but his plans. You have no place in those plans, and yet you wait. Maybe one day. But know that if a man really wants it, there is no excuse of time. Because what finds a place in the heart also finds a place in life. Jung says in another quote, "What belongs to you finds you, and what doesn't belong to you runs away from you no matter how much you want it." So don't chase those who run. Don't tell yourself to those who hide. Because if you are worth loving, no one who is not proud of you deserves you. Some men divide love into two. That which is for show and that which must be hidden. And if they put you in the second category, it's your duty to get out of there. Because love cannot coexist with shame. It takes courage to love. If he doesn't show you, it is not because he is ashamed of you, but because he is not afraid of losing you. Someone who does not see you as something to lose has not thought of you in his future. In relationships, everyone has a mirror. Some see themselves in your eyes, others see their own shortcomings. Someone who hides you is afraid of his own inadequacy, because if he shows you, he has to admit that he is different from others. But he wants to lump you in with everyone else, like an ordinary person. But you are not ordinary. You are a soul who knows how to love, who appreciates, who carries value. Carl Jung said, "A relationship is not just the meeting of two conscious people. It is also the collision of two unconscious minds." Maybe your kindness has scratched his wounds. Maybe your presence has laid bare her missing parts. But remember, this is his war, and you don't have to be a victim of issues he hasn't resolved. You deserve to be shown love, not to be hidden. If you are not honored, don't take root in that place. Because no matter how strong the trunk of a tree is, it cannot grow in the dark, and you were made to bloom, not wither. Such men are often manipulative. They say they don't want to lose you, but they never really want to keep you. "I love you so much," they say, but this love is usually for the satisfaction of their own needs. Their love is like a spiral, warm on the outside, controlling on the inside. One day they speak poetry to you, and the next day you are invisible. Because the love they give you is based on strategy, not consistency. Such men try to keep you by managing your emotions. They don't just say, "I miss you," they say, "I can't live without you." But before you know it, there is no trace of you in their lives. No introduction, no ownership, no future plans. Because they don't love you, they only like it when you love them. And you look for sincerity behind these words. You think, someone who speaks so eloquently cannot be lying. But you must remember this. Beautiful words are no guarantee of true intentions. Look at how a man lives rather than what he tells you. If his behavior is independent of his words, he is playing with your heart. Because true love is consistent. It doesn't just make you feel it, it makes you live it. Carl Jung said, "People don't hear words, they feel behavior." That's why a woman's strength starts with not believing every word. A strong woman opens her heart and eyes, not her ears. She loves the man who lives his words, not the man who hides behind them. Because she knows that love is not just saying, "I love you." Love is being able to say, "I am proud of you." These manipulative men want to blur your boundaries. They pull you into an uncertainty and keep you there. They don't make you a complete lover, nor do they let you go completely. Because clarifying you makes them face responsibility. But they run away from responsibility. They hide from themselves as much as they love you. And when you get lost in his shadow, you think you are not enough woman. However, the issue is not your sufficiency, but his inability to face his lack. A strong woman understands this game. She weighs her feelings on a scale. What is this man giving me? She asks herself. Only words? Then it is not enough. Only desire? Then it's not real. Only need? Then it is not love. Because love is not an exchange, it is a sharing. A strong woman does not diminish herself to be loved. She doesn't lose her self-respect. And most importantly, she does not get lost in a man's love. Carl Jung once said, "To love someone who harms you is to betray yourself." That's why when a woman is strong, she stays true to herself first. If a man is hiding her, she questions him. If a man manipulates her, she looks him in the eye and says, "Be real to me." Because a strong woman wants to be valued, not loved. And she knows that love begins with value. Sometimes a woman loves a man very much. She prays for him, she is patient for him, she even gives up herself for him. But at some point, the strong woman realizes, "I too am valuable. I too want to be seen, heard, known, and a man who hides me doesn't deserve me." At that moment, she breaks the chain in her heart. She remembers her own light, and she starts walking without looking back. If this video made you realize a truth, if it awakened something in you, if it brought you a little closer to yourself, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Spread the word about women's power by writing "I am a strong woman" below. By sharing this video, you can support the spiritual awakening of other women. Remember, you are not alone, and you are really strong. See you in the next video.